Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we'll continue the second part of capsules. Let's remember what we talked about in last part. We talked about the learning outcomes for this topic. You should be able to differentiate between hard and soft gelatin capsules. You should also be able to tell us about the advantages and disadvantages of capsules. And many other learning outcomes. We talked about, the last thing we talked about was regarding what to do when you want to fill the capsules. First, you should determine the formulation that you want to use, and then determine the, the size of the capsules according to the amount of powder formulation that you will add to the body of the capsules. And we also talked about the indirect coating of the capsules using acidic polymers such as CAP and PVAP. If you remember, CAP stands for cellulose acetate phthalate and PVAP stands for polyvinyl acetate phthalate. Today we are going to talk about the actual filling. So how are you going to fill the hard gelatin capsules? Okay. First, you should determine whether you have a large number of capsules or small number of capsules. If it is small number of capsules, maybe let's say 10 capsules or up to maybe 20 capsules, then in this case you do not need a machine to do the filling. Maybe it's more cost effective to do it without using a machine. Now, the method, so either you use machine or you don't use machine. You don't use machine when you just want to fill just few numbers of capsule units. So in this case, without using the machine, you have the punch method. Punch method. Now, in this method, what do you do? After you make your formulation, which consists, if you remember, of the drug and the diluent and glidant or lubricant and super disintegrants, you formulate your powder. And of course, don't forget about that you have to have a similar particle size when you do the mixing, because you remember that the most important thing is to have a non-segregated mixture. Okay, and non-segregated mixture meaning that particle size is very important to control. So when you do the mixing in small scale without the use of machine, you will triturate your powder to the required size. Trituration also allows you to mix your powder together. Now remember that geometric dilution can be adopted or can be used in case you are mixing very small quantity with a very large quantity. In some textbook they say when the ratio is 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or 1 to 100. In this case you will have very small amount with very large amount of powder. طيب. Now after doing the mixing, what do? You use a tile. التايل meaning يعني زي بلاطة, whether made of glass or ceramic. You use a tile where you can do the filling. Now in this case you put the powder together, the mixture together in the tile, and make something like a block. Okay, a block of powder with a height that is about half the length, يعني the powder height in the block that you prepare, half the length of the body of the capsule. Okay, you remember that here we are talking about hard gelatin capsules, which are made, each capsule is made of two pieces, اللي هي الcap and the body. So what you do actually, you remove the cap and then you use the body. Now remember to use gloves. Okay, and the reason why you do that, you don't want to smudge or allow dirt to stick into the body of the capsule, so use gloves. The other way is to use the cap of the capsule to hold the body of the capsule. Okay, anyway, so you take the body of the capsule and then you start punching the powder. That's why it's called ish punch method. So you start punching the powder several times until the body is filled. When you do the punching, remember that if you take up the body of the capsule, the powder inside might fall. That's why what you do is punching and twisting. Okay, so the capsule body is held vertically, the open end is repeatedly pushed or punched into the powder bed until the body of the capsule is filled. Why do you need to twist? When you do punching, you need to twist. The reason is, if you just take up the body of the capsule, you just punch and take it up, it's very probable that the powder inside the body of the capsule will fall down. Twisting will allow the powder to stay inside the body when you take the body of the capsule up. طيب. Now let's say the body of the capsule is filled. What do? Now you need to put the cap in the pre-closed position. Yani don't close it yet. It's not complete. You need to check the weight of the powder inside. How do you check the powder, the amount or the weight of the powder inside? طبعا the empty shell should be weighed initially while it's empty. بعدين you fill it with the powder using the punch method, so punch and twist. Then put back the cap in the pre-closed position and weigh the capsule again. In case there is more powder inside, what do you have to do? Now you have again to remove the body and remove some of the powder inside. This can be done by several ways. One of the ways is just to use a micro spatula, yani small spatula, to remove little bit of the powder inside. طيب, weigh again and until you get the correct weight. But what happens if you have less weight inside? In this case, you remove the cap and again punch and twist again until you get the required weight. Okay, what I will do now, I will show you a video of the punch method. Okay,
after preparing the powder mixture, block the powder to about 1/2.
Okay, what you see here, this is the powder. He's attempting to prepare a block of powder. The height is about حكينا half the length of the body of the capsule. See what he'll be doing. He will be using the punch and twisting to fill the body of the capsules.
Half the height of a capsule. To prevent leaving fingerprints on the capsule, either wear gloves or remove the cap from a throwaway capsule to use as a holder throughout the procedure. Punch and slightly rotate. Replace the cap. Weigh the capsule. It may be necessary to add or subtract mixture to attain the prescribed weight.
Okay, so you looked at the video. Now you surely understand how the capsules are filled using the punch method. It's called punch method. This does not require a machine to do the filling. Now, the second way is to use a machine. Now, usually the machines will do 5 operations. The machines you will use have 5 operations that the machine will do in sequence. You have to know the sequence by which the machine operates. Okay? First, rectification. يعني you take the capsule shells, you put them in the machine will rectify the capsules so that the body of the capsule will be at the bottom part while the cap will be at the top part. I will show you a drawing here. So this is the body and this is the cap. Body and the cap. So what happens? You have rectification or aligning, where capsules are aligned so that their body is at the lower part and the cap is at the top part. Now, why this is happening? The reason is to allow the machine to remove the top part so that the body can be open for filling. طيب, إذن what is the second stage the machine will do? It will do separation. Here separation يعني detaching or removing the cap from the body. Now it will be easy to remove the cap. Why? It is easy to remove the cap. It's not difficult. The reason is the caps are in the pre-closed position. Because they are in the pre-closed position, it will be easy to remove the caps from the bodies. طيب. Third step في الماشين, the filling step. Now the filling step معناته we have the powder formulation that will be filled inside the body. Now this step is important because it allows the required amount of the drug to be inside the body. And it is a way also, هاي عملية الفilling. This filling operation is the way to classify machines that do the filling. يعني we classify the machines according to the way they do the filling inside the body. We will see this after a little bit, okay? طيب, after filling, what happens? We call it joining. Joining معناته now the caps will be placed back to the closed position. شوفوا هنا في عنا closing position, مش عنا pre-close وشيك الوزن وبعدين after that you adjust the weight. لا, we do it in closed position. خلاص. Okay. Now they are ready. So the last step or step number 5 the machine will do اللي هو ejection. يعني taking out the capsules from from the machine. That is the ejection part. So you have to memorize these 5 steps in sequence. First, rectification or aligning, separation, filling, joining, ejection. طيب, the classification of machine is based, as I told you, على على filling part. How does the machine fill the bodies of the capsule? طيب, في عنا 2 ways. Either it depends on the body, so the whole body should be filled, whole body, okay? Or it doesn't depend on the body, يعني smaller amount can be filled as plugs. Now remember, when we talked about formulation, we said that we add a diluent that is capable of adhering the particles together using small compression. زي الأفيسل, if you remember. Avicel is the trade name for microcrystalline cellulose. It's cohesive. It allows the powder to form plug upon compression. Okay? طيب, إذن في عنا 2 ways. Either fill the whole body or you can fill part of the body using plugs. في الاندستري more commonly they use this method اللي هو forming plug في الاندستري, يعني في المصانع الكبيرة. Okay? This is more common اللي هي forming the plugs. طيب إذا this one depends on the body صح؟ Because you need to fill completely the body. But this one does not depend on the body. Right? طيب that's why this method we call it إيش؟ We call it dependent dosing system. طيب وهاي we call it independent dosing system. إذا this is the classification. Dependent dosing system و independent dosing system. When we say dependent معناته this means that the whole body must be filled. When we say independent معناته part of the body will be filled, not necessarily the whole body. طيب بالنسبة للدependent we have the hand operated machine. يعني it's not an automatic machine, it's hand operated, it's not mechanical, it's not automatic. And we have the semi-automatic. Semi-automatic معناته part of the process will involve using manual or hand operation and the other part will be إيش automatic. بينما ال independent dosing system they are إيش automatic filling machine. Remember independent شو يعني حكينا? What did we say? We say not the whole body will be filled, but part of the body will be filled. We don't forget that we are using here plugs in filling the machine, and this is the more common في الindustry. Okay, let's talk about the first one اللي هو dependent dosing system. We'll talk about the hand operated and the semi-automatic filling machine. طيب dependent dosing system الهاند operated filling machine, you will see here إيش an equipment that is hand operated, and we have that when we have it in the lab. Please ask your lab supervisor to show you this machine. You will not use it, you will use this machine في pharmaceutical technology, but I will explain to you إيش how it works. طبعا this machine usually accommodate a small number of capsules. طبعا when I say small it doesn't mean few like 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it accommodates for example 50, 100, 200, 300, something in this range. That's why rarely you will find this machine in industry. لأنه the number of capsules produced every time is small, relatively small يعني, and it needs labor, يعني it needs someone to operate this one, okay, this machine. So maybe you will need several machines of this one and several people to operate on them if you want to use them in industry. That's why rarely you will find this in industry. طيب let's look at the pieces. Let's go here. بتشوفوا هون what you see here is the base plate, يعني البليت القاعدة, base plate. What you see here اللي هو إيش openings. Okay, يعني what you see here, these white things are the opening holes, opening of the lower base plate. طيب what about this one? This is the upper plate. إذا في عنا lower plate وفي عنا إيش, and we have the upper plate. The upper plate will be eventually holding the cap. The lower plate will be holding the bodies. Okay? طيب what you have here اللي هو إيش؟ اللي هو rectifier أو اللي بيسوي aligning لا for the capsules. Okay? This will do the aligning. طيب what you have here, these are pens. Okay? The job of the pens here اللي هي إيش? To press the powder that goes inside the bodies of the capsule. هنا راح يكون البodies. It will push the powder inside the bodies. Okay? This is the rim of the tray. Okay? يعني we will use this one to surround the bodies. Okay? We will add powder. عشان for the powder not to spill out, we have the rim here. okay, إطار يعني, to prevent the powder from spilling out. And then you have the scrubber here. The scrubber job is to spread the powder inside the bodies, okay. So what do you do initially? You take your capsules, you put them here, you put the upper plate beneath the rectifier so that the capsules will fall down here, caps will be up, and the bodies will be extending down. Then you take the upper plate, you put it above the lower or base plate. Then you hold, طبعا البodies will get inside. So you hold the bodies في lower plate, they will be held by the lever here, المحرك هذا. Okay, they will be held, and then you will remove the upper plate. فبيضل البodies at the bottom plate and the caps will be وين؟ هون في upper plate. Then you remove the upper plate containing the caps. After that you will put the tray here, okay, and then you will get your formulation and you will put your formulation in this place. بعدين you take the scrubber, هذا السكرابر, and you start spreading the powder على البodies. Then you have the pins here, you lock this one to press the powder inside the bodies. If some formulation are there, again with the scrubber you spread them again, and then again you press with the pens, and if there is still some more formulation you spread it. And the end شو بتسووا? You take this upper plate containing the caps, you place it here. You with this one, and with this lever, okay. What you do? You take this plate, you put it here, you close with this one, and with the lever you push the bodies from down, you push it inside the caps, and then it will be ready for the process of ejection, okay. So this is actually the process, and I will show you. طبعا look at this figure. This is the rectifier, وهنا في عندنا الأبر بليت, هي الأبر بليت, okay. This is the upper plate, sorry, and this is the base. البيز طبعا البodies are lowered, هي البodies here, little the edge are visible, you lower them, بعدين you spread the powder, بعدين you put the caps back, and this is how filling is done. I will show you this in video so it will become even more clear to you. Okay, what you see here, now he wants to do the rectification so that as I said, the bodies will be at the bottom, the caps will be at the top. What do you see here? Again, it's the same thing, and he will be using the machine here so that what comes to this top plate, the caps will be at the top and the body is at the bottom. Inshallah, after this video, I will show you how the mechanism by which rectification can be done. طبعا, if you remember my first part of the video, you will remember that I said that the diameter of the cap is larger than the diameter of the body. And this is the base, or this is the reason or the way by which machines do rectification, by recognizing the higher diameter and the smaller diameter of the body and the higher diameter of the cap. I will show you that mechanism after this video. You see here the upper plate, the caps here at the top, bodies will be at the bottom. What did he do? Now he's placing the top plate على البيز plate. شوفوا البيز plate, there are holes to hold the bodies. شفتوا now what happened? First, number one, rectification, then separation. Now he's taking up the plate. Which plate? The upper plate, which contains the caps. What will be left? اللي هو ايش؟ البodies. البodies edges will be visible. He will sort of release the holders of the bodies, release it so that the bodies can lower down to allow the process of what are these? Now what you see here اللي هي bodies. طبعا you cannot fill them like this. You have to lower them and then put the rim of the tray to allow the powder to spread into the bodies of the capsules. He's pressing the powder inside the bodies of the capsule. If there is some air inside, air can be removed by this pressing. If there is more formulation still above here, this will allow the rest of the formulation to fill the whole bodies. Now what did he do? He fixed back the upper plate containing the caps, and by this piece which is here, okay, شو سوى? He held the caps. The caps now are held by this one. They cannot go up. And then with this hand, there is a lever, okay, there is a piece which he pressed. Okay, he moved down this side. ليش? So that the caps from below, from the base plate, can go up and get inside slip inside the caps. The caps بيكونوا from outside. Okay. طيب. As you see, these are the bodies that are filled with the formulation. طيب, remember what is the method we are using here. We are using machine, but it is hand operated. ما في electrical thing. It's hand operated. طب is it dependent ولا independent? This is dependent. It has to fill the bodies of the capsules complete. Okay. طيب, I will show you the mechanism of rectification. How do they align, or how the machines are able to align the capsule so that the bodies are at the bottom part and the caps are at the top part. I will show you this. Okay, طبعا these are the empty shells. Okay, مش filled, they are empty. See, when the machine takes them, the cap can be at the top or it can be at the bottom. As you see in this figure, some bodies are at the top, some bodies are at the bottom, etc. Okay.
Using the difference in diameter between the cap and body, correct rectification is performed. We can transport.
I want you to see this one here because it's important. The opening here can only allow the body to get in, but it doesn't allow the cap to get inside because the diameter is smaller than the cap, but it fits the bodies. So if the capsules here comes, if the capsule comes with the body, it can get inside like what you see here. Okay, it can get inside. The bodies will be here and the cap will be at the top. But if, for example, look at this capsule, when it comes here, the cap cannot get inside. So what will happen to the capsule? It will be in this horizontal direction rather than vertical. Okay, and this will allow the process of rectifying. Watch the video now.
Capsules that are filled without applying any pressure to them.
See, this is inside because the body of this capsule can at the bottom. That's why it was able to get inside. Look at this one here. What do you see? You see that the cap was not able to enter, and when it came to this part صار عملية إيش؟ إنه now it will be in the horizontal direction. See now what will happen. Okay, look at the opening. Now all of them will be rectified in this process. شوفوا كيف الهورايزونتال. All of the caps now will be at the bottom. Okay. Then the rectification process depends on the difference in diameter between the cap and the body. Now another machine which is semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, as I said, allows certain process to be automatic and certain process to be manual. You will see this in the video I will show you. But let me first tell you about this machine. They refer to the system as Auger feeding system. إذن هاي الماشين اللي هي semi-automatic, they refer to it as Auger feeding system. Again, it's Auger feeding system, semi-automatic. طب semi-automatic, does it belong to dependent or independent dosing system? It's for dependent, يعني the whole body must be filled. طيب, why do they call it Auger? Auger, what is Auger? طيب, if you go here, okay, now this is the hopper. The hopper is القمع بيحكوا له, or it's the vessel that will contain the formulation. And this part here is just to stir, because there will be stirring of the formulation to keep it in mixed position. Now the piece that you see here that rotates as well, this is the auger. Okay, and this auger, while it rotates, it allows the powder here to be forced into the bodies of the capsule that you see here in the lower ring. فإحنا initially we have two ring system. هاي two ring. شايفينه؟ In this two ring system بصير عملية rectification before it reach the two ring system. First it will be rectified. بعدين شو بصير؟ The caps will be at the top والbodies at the bottom. إذن هو two ring هنا شايفين إحنا. Two ring system. طيب, when the capsules are rectified and they get to the two ring system, separation will be done. Now the process of separation, to separate upper ring containing the cap from the lower ring containing the bodies, this operation is done manual. عشان هيك بنحكيلوش automatic. Okay, بنحكي له semi automatic. Rectification is automatic. Separation here of the two rings is done manual. Then manually you take the lower ring containing the bodies, you take them below اللي هو الauger feeding system. Okay, now the lower ring will rotate. While it's rotating the lower ring بصير filling of the bodies. When it completes one rotation, okay, you stop the machine, you take this ring, lower ring, and you take the upper ring, and you place them in a part of machine. طبعا again here we do it manually. Okay, you place it in a part of machine that allows you manually to push the bodies, اللي هي هاي bodies, to push it inside the caps. With the same system, يعني بتسوي closing. With the same part of the machine, it allows you to ايش؟ To eject them as well. Okay, after you close the caps and the bodies, okay, then it will be ايش؟ Ejected. اتذكروا, remember the sequence. حكينا rectification, separation, filling, joining, ejection. Okay, now we will see a video about the Auger feeding system. Watch it carefully. See here, he's pouring the empty capsule shells اللي بيكونوا في pre-closed position. وhere, this is the hopper. Okay. طبعا he will add the formulation here. هنا بتصير عملية الفilling by Auger feeding system. وhere he will put the lower ring containing the body. طيب هذا البارت you will see the process of one joining in closed position, وبعدين the process of ejection. Watch with me. Okay, so now the amount of powder filled, of course, it will depend on the body, but also the rotation of the auger will also determine how much gets inside the body. Also, the speed of rotation of the lower ring برضو will determine how much gets filled inside the body. But again, this is a dependent dosing system. يعني it depends on the body of the capsule. It has to be filled completely. But of course, طبعا, the more it rotates, the faster this one rotates the auger, and the slower the ring rotates, معناته we have more filling inside the body. طيب, طبعا this figure shows you the video. I already showed you the video. It tells you how the process is happening. Now we'll go to the second class of machine اللي هو ايش؟ independent dosing system اللي هو automatic. These are automatic machine. Now the first type is referred to as dosator. Dosator type machines. شو يعني dosator؟ جاي من dose، يعني the part that ايش؟ do the dosing. طيب it contains، يعني it comes from the dosing tube. هذا dosing tube. Okay. Inside this dosing tube that does the dosing, and remember here it depends on forming the plugs. This tube contains a piston inside. Okay, it's a spring-loaded piston. I will show you this one. Okay, what you see here in this figure. Okay, you have the part that contains your formulation. هذا. Here you have your formulation. Now what you see here اللي هو ايش؟ tube. هاي the tube. This is the tube that will do the dosing. Inside this tube you have spring-loaded piston. هذا هو البستون. Okay. فكيف الماشين؟ How the machine works? The tube طبعا in order for you to determine how much goes inside the tube طبعا this can be controlled by how much this is filled اللي هو الكونتينر أو الهوبر. Also it depends على إيش؟ The other thing, it depends how much did you lower the piston here. فthis will determine إيش؟ Your plug volume. طيب. Now the dosing tube goes into the powder. بعدين the spring-loaded piston will compress the powder, because if it doesn't do that شو بصير؟ When the dosing tube goes up, the powder will fall down. So the job of this piston is to compress the powder into the plug. Because of compression, the plug will be formed and it will stay inside because of pressure. Okay? Then this plug will go to the part containing ايش؟ The body of the capsule to ايش؟ To release the plug. How does it release the plug? By lowering. شوفوا هون. The piston gets lowered further to release the plug into the bodies of the capsule. طيب, this is the dosator type machine, and it is the most frequently used في industry. Okay, we'll watch a video of this machine so that you get a better understanding of it. طبعا there is no need for you to memorize Zanasi with MG2. No need for you to memorize them. Just I'm giving you example, but I want you to know that such machine can produce 150,000 capsules, filled capsules per hour. And that's a large number of capsules. Okay? Okay, we'll see the dosator type. Okay. I wanted to see this part where rectification occurs. Okay? This part here where the dosator اللي هو التيوب, dosing tube with piston that is inside, they get inside the powder. Then powder will be here at the bottom, and it will compress the powder into plugs. بعدين this part will rotate here. شايفين? It will rotate here where the plugs are released into the bodies of the capsule. هنا بصير rectification. بعدين in this place you will have separation. تحت طبعا, I'm talking about down here. When separation happens, the part containing bodies will go to this part. Okay? It gets filled by the dosing tubes. Okay? And then the part containing the bodies goes back to this rotating part. Here it will be it will be compressed. Compressed in the sense the bodies will be pushed into the caps. وهنا here you will see the release of the capsules or the ejection part. Okay. Okay, now we will talk about the last one who belongs to the which system, اللي هي independent dosing system, which is referred to as tamping finger and dosing disc. Type tamping finger and dosing disc. Let me show you the configuration of this machine, explain it to you, and then we'll watch a video about that. طيب, what you see here, okay, this part is a disc containing accurately drilled holes. طبعا الدisc has a thickness زي ما انتم شايفين, والholes has a diameter, okay, that is relevant or in relation to the bodies of the capsules that I want to fill. Okay, first this disc, okay, containing the holes will be at the bottom of the rotating or the base of a rotating hopper. فإذا this one moves, the disc moves. طيب, وفوقه بيكون ايش؟ above it will be the formulation. These are the tamping fingers اللي شايفينه هين. That's why it's referred to as tamping finger و dosing disc. فإذا this is the dosing disc. The dose depends on how much you fill powder above it. It depends on the diameter and the thickness of the disc. وكمان it depends on the tamping finger and how much pressure do they provide at the powder inside the dosing disc في الholes اللي هون. طيب, طبعا these tamping fingers will be initially up. So what will happen to these holes? They will be filled. The tamping finger will push the powder inside, okay, and initially a small amount of powder, because this is the initial compression, a small amount of powder will be inside because of compression. Then the tamping fingers, all of them will go up. Now this one will move, the dosing disc, it's rotating. It will move to the next set of tamping fingers. طيب, while it's moving to the next set of tamping fingers, it gets filled again, it holds, more powder gets filled inside. When it reaches the next tamping fingers, the next set of tamping fingers will get inside, and this will increase the amount of powder inside. طيب, the tamping finger in the second station will go up, and the dosing disc is rotating, going to the third set of tamping fingers, during which the powder will fill again. بعدين the third set of tamping fingers will go back and compress the powder into these holes, and so on until you get the plugs as you see in this part. Okay, so at the end you have complete filling of the holes, drilled holes في dosing disc. Now, how much the tamping finger compress? يعني the more it compress, the more powder can get inside. فإذا the weight of this plug depends on how much you put powder here. It depends on the height and the diameter of the holes, and it depends on the compression of tamping fingers. طيب, now I explained to you this. Now we are going to look at this photo, and also we will look at a video similar to this one here. Please look at this part. This part is where rectification happens. يعني you put the shells from the top, it gets rectified. شايفين هاي البارتس بتكون موجودة هون البارت. فالcap will be held at the top, bodies at the bottom, they will be separated and they will come to this part. طبعا the caps are away from the bodies. They are in separate part. So the body will come to this part you see here. Do you see this part? Okay, هنا الهوبر where you put your formulation, and here is the rotating part of the hooper base. This rotates. راح تشوفوا هون ايش التامبينج fingers. طبعا it rotates, it gets compressed by the tamping finger you see here. It rotates again. في عندنا tamping fingers here, tamping fingers here, tamping fingers here. When it reaches this place, the tamping fingers that are here, they are to release the plugs that are formed في الدوزنج disc, to release it في bodies of the capsule. فبصير filling للbodies of the capsule. Then it goes to this part here. شايفين هذا البارت here بيكون في عنا fingers from the bottom to push the bodies inside the caps. بصير عملية البوشينج. وهون بصير عملية ايش؟ The operation of ejection. Okay, we are going to see now this in a video. Okay, I think it's now clear for you. Now we will talk about, after filling we have the capsule sealing. This is optional. In many cases we don't do capsule sealing because it requires special machine. So after the capsules are ejected, they are in the closed position. Okay, now it's an optional for you to do capsule sealing, which allows you to protect the capsules from being opened by the customer or the patient, because if the patient does that, it will be visible to the others. Now, one way of doing it is to add a band of gelatin in the area of cap and the body. In the area, as you see here, this is the cap and this is the body. So they add a band of gelatin which can be of different color than the cap and the body. If someone attempts to open it, it will be visible for anyone to check and see that this has been tampered with. The other way is called heat welding. Heat welding, applying heat to this area that you see, okay, so that the both cap and body will melt into each other. They will fuse into each other. This is another way. The third way is to add a liquid here, wetting liquid, and then this wetting liquid will lower the melting point of gelatin, the shell here that you see. It will lower the melting point, so with little heat it will allow them to stick with each other. Now these are the three ways, but as I told you, this is an optional. The last step before packaging اللي هو cleaning and polishing the capsule. It's very possible that because the capsule shells, they are sticky in nature, it's very possible that some particles from the drug will stick to the capsule shells from the outside. If we are dealing with small number of capsules, yani small scale, then we can do the cleaning using gauze and cloth. Okay, just clean each one. But if you are operating in a large scale, then usually cleaning vacuum will be used. طبعا you see the figure here, في عنا the cleaning vacuum attached to a tunnel here. You add the filled capsule inside. Here they will be brushed and at the same time vacuum to remove external particles. This part is where you collect the cleaned capsules. I have a video for that. I will show you this. Now he's taking some filled capsules. He wants to show you how, when they are not clean, see he's adding, intentionally he's adding powder outside to make them to make the powder stick to the capsules, and then he wants to clean them. See how the cleaning process is done. Now, as you see, the capsules have particles on the outer shells. They are not clean. Now this is the machine. He's adding these capsules. See, there is a brush inside and there is ايش في عندنا كمان. We have also a vacuum. هي الvacuum. You see the vacuum here, and you will see the cleaned capsules. See, they are polished and cleaned, as you see here. Okay, now we are going to look at this figure that summarizes the process of producing filled and packaged hard gelatin capsules. First, you see the ingredients here. You are mixing several ingredients, maybe the drug and other excipients, including lubricant, etc. First, you want to mill them in order to get the right size, and then you will blend them. and they are ready to be filled. This is the powder blend, and this is the machine. Now here you have the capsule shells, empty capsule shells. They get rectified, they go inside the machine, get filled with the powder, and then the capsules, caps and bodies get joined in a closed position. They are inspected, they are checked for their weight, if their weight is correct or not. If there is something that is not filled or not accurate or etc., it gets rejected. Okay, this is automatic. The good ones, they go for طبعا. Don't forget, here we have cleaning after the capsules are rejected. The finished ones get packaged. Okay, طبعا هون finished capsules, they go for quality control tests. Okay. Okay, now we are going to talk about the second part اللي هي soft gelatin capsules. The other term, الترم الآخر بيستخدموه soft gels. Okay, يعني when I say soft gel I mean soft gelatin capsules. Now when I talk about soft gelatin capsules, I want you to start and think, what are the differences between hard gelatin capsules and soft gelatin capsules? Okay, شوفوا الديفينيشن. They are unit solid dosage form. طيب unit شو حكينا يعني؟ Each capsule contain one dose. Solid, if you look at the outside, it's a solid. طيب in which liquid solution is an here I'm talking about liquid, suspension or semi-solid. This is the usual. لأنه I even can envelope a tablet. يعني ممكن يكون عندي tablet and then envelope it with soft gelatin shell. Okay, so solution, suspension or semi-solid usually is enveloped by شوفوا هون one piece, while hard gelatin capsules are two-piece capsules. طيب بعدين it's hermetically sealed. Hermetically sealed يعني محكم الإغلاق. Okay, يعني it's one piece محكم الإغلاق. You cannot open it. If you open it with a blade or something like that, it will be visible to everybody. طيب hermetically sealed soft gelatin shell. إذا عرفنا شو الديفرنسز هلا. One, it's usually filled with solution, suspension or semi-solid. Number two, it's one piece. Now later on you will see also other differences. يعني for example, here we are talking about soft. Do we mean by soft that if you buy a soft gelatin capsule and you touch it, you will feel that it is soft? Actually, no. Let's read more about the soft gelatin capsules. One, materials that have low compressibility or low flowability, okay, we can fill it as a liquid or semi-liquid or semi-solid in soft gelatin capsules. Remember, in hard gelatin capsules we said that we need to improve the flow, so we are adding glidant, and we need to add diluent عشان ايش؟ To form the plug. Do you remember the plug? Plug. The plug means your formulation must be compressible. So if my material is non-compressible and has low flow, I can put it in soft gelatin capsule, because what you fill usually with soft gelatin capsules اللي هي ايش؟ liquids. فبالتالي I have no problem with compressibility or flowability. Second advantage اللي هي بما انه we don't have any compression, this means that the dissolution will be faster when you compare it to tablet, even faster when you compare it to hard gelatin capsules, because in hard gelatin capsules we may apply some pressure to form ايش اذا بتتذكروا البلاك. Also, it can be a way of protecting drugs from moisture, from light, from oxygen. such as certain vitamins like vitamin A and B and C. We can protect them from hydrolysis or from oxidation inside the soft gelatin capsules. Again, as I said, in hard gelatin capsules, the protection is not 100%, especially that the shells are sensitive to moisture, and some air can penetrate slowly inside, very slowly, but it can penetrate, allowing air to get inside, وبالتالي some oxidation. Now for light, as the case with hard gelatin capsules, we used opacuant agents, the titanium dioxide. This will not allow the light to get through the gelatin shell. طيب, these are examples. زي عندنا الكود liver oil that has vitamin A and vitamin D. This is an example of product containing soft gelatin capsules. The other thing I want to talk about, now you will see a big difference, اللي هي nature of the soft gel. الشل هذا, what is it? Okay, if you remember the hard gelatin capsules, the most important thing اللي هي it contains gelatin and water. Okay, gelatin and water. Now بالنسبة للsoft gelatin capsules, in addition to gelatin and water, it contains a plasticizer. إذن what is the main difference بالcomposition of the shell between the hard gelatin capsules with soft gelatin capsules? The main difference is the presence of plasticizer وين؟ في الsoft gelatin capsules. شوفوا. Number one, gelatin. في الهارد gelatin capsules it's about 80%, 80 to 85%. طيب بالsoft gelatin capsule it's about ايش؟ 65%. طيب plasticizer مش موجود, it's not present in hard gelatin capsules. In soft gelatin capsules موجود في ايش؟ about 25%. طيب الووتر, انتبهوا لهاي النقطة. الووتر في الهارد gelatin capsules is from 13 to 16% W by W. Here the water is less. Okay, why do they call soft gelatin soft gelatin? It's because of the presence of plasticizer. Later on, when I explain how this is done, okay, you will understand what is the job of plasticizer exactly. طيب الموisture عندنا, as I said, 6 to 10%, which is less than hard gelatin capsules. Now I want you to be careful here, because in your textbook, if you read your textbook, it says that the percentage of water in soft gelatin capsule is higher than hard gelatin capsule, and that is ايش? Wrong. I don't know why this mistake is there in the textbook. It's a good textbook, but I don't know why they have this mistake. فإذا in composition, the real difference between hard and soft اللي هو the presence of plasticizer وين في soft gelatin shell. Now what are these plasticizers they use? They can use propylene glycol, glycerol, or sorbitol. Which one of these اللي هو most common? اللي هو glycerol or the glycerin. This is more common في الشell. طيب, what about the shapes and sizes of soft gelatin capsules? Okay, now remember, in hard gelatin capsule it's almost the same shape almost all the times, except in special products. In soft gelatin capsules, no, you can have many different shapes. Okay, you can do that. Now the common shapes are the spherical, the oval, the oblong, and the tubular. These are the common shapes. Other shapes also exist. And the volume usually it accommodates is between 0.1 ml to 4.5 ml. Now look at this figure. Here you have the oval shape. Here you have the oblong shape. اللي هو بيشبه الأوبلونج، بيشبه الهارد جيلاتين capsules. Here you have the spherical shape, and here you have the tube, and if you can see there is a part here. Usually they, for example, they put semi-solid inside, like cream, ointment, something like that, and then you can cut this part and press on this part to release the content. One formulation you may find it for ophthalmic application and the eye. So they cut it, they press the content into the eye. And we have other shapes as you see here. See, they have, for example, these shapes which are suitable للkids. For example, they can have vitamin inside, and the kid will take the shape, will love such shapes. The kid will take such soft gelatin capsules, and not for swallowing, but for chewing. للchewing للأطفال. Okay? Like for example, what you see here. This product is available in UAE market, and you see, for example, different colors of fishes, and these are not to be swallowed intact, but to be chewed. Okay, if you read here, soft capsule, هنا مكتوب ايش؟ chewable. Okay. طيب, let's talk about the formulation. First, you see the outer shell hermetically sealed. It's one piece, and it contains gelatin, plasticizer, water. في عندنا اللي هو ايش؟ the filled material. The filled material طبعا, in addition to the drug, it contains a vehicle which is usually liquid and a surface active agent. Now this surface active agent job is to improve the dissolution of hydrophobic drug inside the soft gelatin capsule. The reason is, if you want to look at most drugs that are filled in soft gelatin capsules, they are hydrophobic. They are surface active agent in order to improve drug dissolution. Okay, let's talk about vehicle. Now, the vehicle can be classified to water miscible vehicles and water immiscible vehicles. الwater miscible vehicles such as ايش؟ polyethylene glycol اللي هو PEG, which is water miscible. It can be isopropyl alcohol, also water miscible. It can be propylene glycol or glycerol, which are ايش هدول water miscible. If you look at this one اللي هو alcohol, and look at these two, alcohol is volatile. Okay, isopropyl alcohol is a volatile liquid. If I want to use something volatile, it has to be in small quantity. Otherwise, it can create pressure inside the soft gelatin capsules, and the content may permeate or may get released from the shell of soft gelatin capsules. So I have to use it in small quantities. Propylene glycol or glycerol, if you remember, they are plasticizer because they are able to soften the capsule shell. If we want to use them, they must also be in small quantity. طيب, water immiscible liquids اللي هي usually oils. Example of this oil اللي هو sesame oil, وفي عندنا الأراكس oil. Sesame oil اللي هو زيت السمسم, Arachis oil اللي هو زيت الفول السوداني, or they call it peanut oil. It's the same thing. طيب, as I said, in addition to the vehicle, we may add surface active agent. زي, for example, the twins group. And in physical pharmacy too, you'll be studying about the surface active agents. والtwins, طبعا, these are group of surface active agent belonging to non-ionic surfactants. طيب, ليش? Why do I add them? In order to enhance wettability and hence dissolution for especially hydrophobic drugs. زي ايش عندنا hydrophobic drugs؟ زي الجرايزوفولفين والديجوكسين. طيب, the vehicle that I use must not be one high or very low viscosity. high viscosity بيسوي لنا مشكلة في ايش؟ It will create a problem in filling the soft gelatin capsules لأنه very viscous, ف it will be difficult to fill inside the soft gelatin capsules. طيب, number 2, it should not dissolve or soften the gelatin shell. That's why I cannot add water. If I need to add plasticizer, then in this case ايش؟ The plasticizer must be in small quantity. And it should not be volatile زي isopropyl alcohol. Therefore, if I want to use something volatile, it has to be in very small quantity. طيب, how the soft gelatin capsule is filled? Now, here there are two processes. One is referred to as plate process. The plate process is a not continuous process. It's يعني you produce some soft gelatin capsules, let's say 100, 200, 500, and then you have to repeat the process again. That's why it's not efficient and it's not used in industry. إذن في عنا البليت process. أما the one that is used efficiently and you will see it in industry فهو إيش؟ اللي هو rotary or reciprocating die process. Rotary يعني من rotation. Reciprocating يعني تبادلي. Okay? Die process. Die يعني قالب. Okay? So the process that you see in industry which is efficient and can be continuous اللي هو rotary or برضه بنحكي له reciprocating die process. يعني rotary die process or reciprocating die process. طيب, I want to explain to you how the process is done. I will explain it to you by this figure that you see here. طيب, you see here the fill tank اللي هو containing the formulation you want to fill inside the soft gelatin capsules. Good? طيب, what you see here اللي هو الداي. You have double dyes يعني two dyes. Okay? هاي الدايز contains the openings. هاي الاوبننجز اللي هي each opening makes half of the soft gelatin capsule. Okay? Half of it. إذن half هون in this dye and half in this dye. Okay? طيب, the part that you see here is for dosing. إذن بيجي من الفل وبسوي dosing. Okay, now we will see where this dosing is happening. طيب, what you see here, you see a drum, and here you see the liquid is liquid. أي liquid اللي هو this is containing gelatin, plasticizer, and water in melted as a liquid. إذن في عنا هنا liquid containing the shell materials اللي هي البلاستيسايزر والجيلاتين. هنا الدرام. طبعا هنا في oil for lubrication to lubricate the ribbon. هذا ribbon. When the melted gelatin spreads over the drum, it makes ribbon. Ribbon يعني شريط زي ما انتم شايفين. Now this ribbon has certain characteristics. First, it is flexible as you see it here. طب مين أعطاها هاي الفلكسبيليتي؟ طبعا this flexibility is before filling, قبل عملية الفيلينج. What gives flexibility to this ribbon? ribbon الشريط اللي هو what gives it flexibility اللي هو the presence of plasticizer. Okay, it gives flexibility to the ribbon. طيب, how many ribbons I have? This is one ribbon. Now there will be another ribbon coming from another drum. إذن هنا في drum آخر. It's very possible that this has a reservoir of gelatin. Reservoir containing gelatin, melted gelatin with water and plasticizer. وفي عندنا reservoir ثاني containing the same. Now this gelatin goes into spreader box. Spreader box will spread the liquid في الدرام that is rotating. بيتكون عندنا what forms is ribbon. Ribbons get lubricated here. and then where does it travel? It travels to the die part. إذن I have two ribbons. One is coming from this side, one is coming from this side. It is possible that I have different reservoir for each drum, or there can be one reservoir, يعني one container that contains the gelatin, plasticizer and water and goes into the two drums. فإذا we have two ribbons. طيب, these ribbons get beneath the feeding part, the injection part or injection wedge. Okay, injection part here, وعندنا ribbon جاي من هون ribbon that comes from here. Now, number one, what is the width of this ribbon? The width can be إيش? About 15 centimeters. إذن the width here can be إيش؟ 15 centimeter. طب والثickness تاع الريبون, the thickness can be from half millimeter to 1.5 millimeter as is given here. Okay. طيب, why I'm saying about the thickness? هلا شوفوا هون, this is 0.5 to 1.5 millimeter, بينما compare it to the thickness of the hard gelatin capsules, you will see that the thickness of hard gelatin capsules is actually 0.1 millimeter. Maybe I did not say this in hard gelatin capsule, but you must know it. فقارنوا 0.1 بإيش 0.5 to 1.5 millimeter. This means that the thickness of soft gelatin capsules are actually about 10 times the thickness of hard gelatin capsule shells. طيب, نرجع. When the ribbon come to this part اللي هو فيه الداي هون, and this comes to this part that contains, طبعا الريبون بيكون soft warm. Okay, فبيكون طري و flexible. It will be flexible and soft. Okay. طيب, شو بصير? What happens here? The ribbon will take the shape of the openings in the dies. باخذ الشيب تاع الاوبننج هون. هنا باخذ الشيب تاع الاوبننج. Where do they meet? They meet at this part where filling happens. متى بصير الفيلينج? When the two parts, الريبون هون والريبون هون, they meet each other from the lower part. بصير عندنا we will have opening. We will have filling. طيب, بصير عملية الفilling with the dose, required dose, and these dies are rotating. شو بصير؟ بيستمروا. Then they will be closed. Okay, إذن بصير عندنا we will have meeting of the two ribbons at certain parts. بصير الفيلينج وهدول بيستمروا في الدوران while filling is happening. بعدين بصير closing للريبون وبصير عندنا severed يعني بينقطع. Okay, so it will be cut from down when they meet. لما يلتقوا بينقطع من from the lower part and they will meet with each other. They will be sealed. بصير لهم sealing. How do they get sealed from the bottom? من هون يعني. كيف بصير لهم sealing? Because of pressure and heat, the two ribbon will seal from the bottom. بتصير عملية الفيلينج. The filling process will start. Die is continuously rotating. بعدين the upper part now will meet again. وبصير عندنا ايش? Heat and pressure that will cut the capsules. فبسقطوا الكابسولز as you see here. Now they will get to the capsule conveyor يعني الموصل. These capsules, soft capsules, will be washed. After washing they will be dried using infrared heat. طبعا they will be dried to a certain moisture content. واحنا حكينا this moisture content is from 6 to 10%. Okay. طيب, what you see here is how the two ribbons come. Two ribbons, they come, they meet, they take the shape of the opening, they get filled. من تحت they are cut. Okay, بنقطع هاي شوفوا it's cut from below بعدين they meet from the top again this goes down and it will be cut again giving ايش اللي هو soft gel. طيب this also shows you ايش a figure of soft gelatin capsules. طيب please note the following that في الهارد جيلاتين capsules شو صار عندنا what do we have shells are bought from another company into let's say Gelfar or Neopharma etc. and then in Gelfar it gets filled معناته you have two companies one to provide the capsule shells and the other company will provide the formulation and it will fill the capsule shells. Now in comparison soft gelatin capsule are produced from the same place يعني you cannot get the shells from another company. It's the same machine that does the filling will also be responsible for providing the gelatin shell, the outer shell. طيب. Now, as you know, not so many companies are producing soft gelatin capsules. Or if you go to the market, to the pharmacies, most drugs are either tablets or hard gelatin capsules. Few drugs are in the form of soft gelatin capsules. طيب معناته such machine and these people that are working with the machine, okay, in order in any industry to use this machine, they may use it maybe like in Gelfar once every year or twice every year, okay. طيب for a company like Gelfar to buy this machine and to employ these people, specialized people, just to fill or to produce soft gelatin capsules just once or twice a year is expensive. That's why بصير عندنا outsourcing. Okay, شو يعني outsourcing؟ بيكون في عندنا specialized company producing just soft gelatin capsules. Okay, a special company. And Gelfar will contract with this company اللي هو specialized company to produce for them ايش؟ The soft gelatin capsules. Instead of Gelfar يعني employing people and buying a machine, maintaining the machine to produce soft gelatin capsule just once or twice a year, بتلاقوا في هناك company specialized. Gelfar will make a contract with them, telling them what they want and how they want the capsule shells to be, and this specialized company will do not only to Gelfar but to many other companies. فبالتالي if you have a question saying why soft gelatin capsule machines are not available in every company, even those that produce, even those that have products of soft gelatin capsules, اللي هي reason, as I told you, it's expensive to buy this machine and the personnel, to employ personnel who are specialized in using them, it's expensive. That's why usually they outsource. Outsource يعني they use outer source to produce their soft gelatin capsules. I will show you a video on how the soft gelatin capsule shells are produced. Okay. Okay, I will go a little back. طبعا this is the figure. We have here the forming of ribbons أيوة من 2 drums coming into the die, rolling die, rotating die. That's why they call it rotary die process. In this process the soft gels gets produced as you see it here. Now this is the machine. You will see here tubes, white tubes. Okay, and these tubes, they come from the feeder, the one that contains the formulation that you want to feed into the soft gel. طيب, here you have what you see here, this one and this one. These are the rotary dies. فإذا بيجي الريبون comes into the rotary dies, one from this side من هون and the other one from this side. شوفوا every tube here 1 2 3 4 5 maybe 10 here and 10 here يعني 20. Every one of them will be filling a capsule, a soft gelatin capsule. Okay, so in each time maybe 20, if this is 10, if these tubes are 10, maybe 20 soft gelatin capsules are produced at each time. طيب, what happens after that? طبعا, as I told you, filling happens, then the capsule is severed by heat and by pressure, and they will be detached from the ribbon. طب الريبون نفسه, what will happen to the ribbon itself? Part of it, الريبون اللي بيطلع من هون, part of it will be used for soft gelatin capsules, with other parts at the edge will be still be there as a net, كأنها شبكة بتصير. يعني الريبون بصير كأنه فيه holes اللي بيطلع. The holes were used for what? For forming the soft gelatin capsules. Okay, I wanted to see this video. These are the rotating lines. This is the net forming here. طبعا, these are the forms of gels that go to the washing part and then to the drying part. Okay. Here you have some examples of capsule products. Usually, when you see a product, and in this product it says, for example, capsule, for example, 30 capsule, usually, not always, but usually this means that the product is hard gelatin capsules. يعني when it's hard gelatin capsules, they will not tell you hard gelatin capsules, they will just tell you ايش? Capsules. Okay? very famous example زي الاموكسيسيلين. Okay, اللي هو very well known and prescribed antibiotic, which is available as capsules. It's also available as tablets. It's also available as powder for suspension. إذا بتتذكروا, if you remember when we talked about powder وحكينا على الأوجمنتين, okay, containing amoxicillin. The other one اللي هو soft gelatin capsule products, ويعني you need to memorize one or two. For example, digoxin. Digoxin is used for heart. Okay, it's cardiotonic. Okay, so just memorize one or two products out of them. Now, when you give the patient product, or you want to deal with the product as a pharmacist, what you should know, what you should tell, what you should advise, what you should counsel. First, you should tell the patient that the capsule is to be swallowed, ingested or swallowed with adequate amount of fluid, usually water, but in some cases you can tell them, okay, take it with milk, juice, etc. Number two, you should advise the patient to take the medication whether on empty stomach or with food. This must be known because because this can affect bioavailability, يعني the availability of drug in the blood circulation. Some drugs like rhizofulvine, for example, can be better absorbed with a meal that contains fats مثلا لأنه it's rhizofulvine is hydrophobic, it's oily soluble, فبالتالي when there is more fat contents في الfood it gets absorbed better. فإذا you need to tell him whether to take it on empty stomach or with food because it can affect bioavailability. Another thing, if the capsule contains special coating, like for example the enteric coating, then you should tell the patient not to chew or not to crush or not to break the capsules. Because why? If the patient chew the capsule, for example, it will شو بتسوي في الcoating? It will destroy the coating and the absorption and the solution will not be as expected or planned according to the manufacturer. طيب, another thing, suppose the patient is not able to swallow solid dosage form, شو يصير? In this case, you may suggest for the patient to take chewable dosage form, like chewable tablets, or you can suggest a liquid form. In some cases, as this can happen in the hospitals, and you will actually have maybe a couple of labs about that, you can convert the formulation that is inside the capsules, you can convert it to a liquid form. Okay, this can happen in the hospital. So you will open the capsules, take out the formulation and make it as a liquid dosage form. طبعا provided that there is no special coating. طيب, the last thing I want to talk about اللي هو quality control tests for capsules. Now I will only very briefly describe the tests. Why I want to describe them very briefly? Because I will talk about them more in tablets. إذن في التابلتس I'm going to describe them in more details. طب شو دخل التابلتس? What is the relation of tablets and capsule بالنسبة للquality control test? They are very related. إذن هم كتير بيشبهوا بعض. The quality control tests for capsules and tablets are very similar. Maybe not the same, but very similar. طيب, first, when we say chemical content test, what you need to know about this, okay? A chemical content test is supposed to validate or to make sure or to test whether the claimed amount of the drug the claimed amount of the drug. شو يعني claimed amount? What does it mean claimed amount? اللي هو labeled amount. يعني for example, if we go back مثلا هون amoxicillin it says ايش؟ السترينث 250. في عندنا we have capsules with 250 milligram and we have capsules with 500 milligram. طيب, فإذا كان البرودكت مكتوب عليه 500 milligram, you need to make sure that this is an accurate claim or an accurate label. طيب, in this case طبعا you take a number of capsules and you empty the contents and what do? You analyze whether amoxicillin is available as 500 milligram. طبعا, what happens if it is 501 milligram or 499? Is it wrong? Well, there is a tolerance. Tolerance يعني it can be, for example, 5 to 10% more or 5 to 10% less. Okay? And it will pass the test. طيب, the other test اللي هو uniformity of content test. طيب, here we are taking uh, several capsules, we empty the contents together, and then we do the analysis. In the uniformity of content, what you are aiming at is capsule 1, capsule 2, capsule 3, capsule 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of them have similar amounts. إذن هون you put the amounts together, all of the amounts together, and then you do the measurement. But here you want to see if each one of them contains similar amount of the drug. يعني capsule 1 may be containing, for example, 480 milligram. Capsule 2 مثلا 500. Capsule 3 مثلا 510, and so on. Okay? Now, are they similar? Well, طبعا here في similarities. Okay, طبعا في هناك standard. There is a standard في الفارماكوبيا to tell us whether this means pass or fail. Okay? The dissolution test is you put your capsules في dissolution apparatus. Okay? And طبعا at 37 degrees Celsius, at certain pH, etc., etc. So you put them, and after a certain time, for example, 45 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on the pharmacopoeia, you take a sample to see how much of the drug dissolved in the medium. طبعا there must be ايش في هناك limit, or there is at least minimum amount should dissolve in a certain time. So usually it's a one sample test. يعني one sample مقصود فيها إنه one point test. يعني you take the sample at certain time, and usually use 6 capsules in this dissolution test. بالweight variation test, you want it's very similar to uniformity of content test, but here we are testing how much drug inside, صح? So we are analyzing the chemical constituent. This is only the drug. بالweight variation, you are looking at the weight. For example, the formulation, the first capsule contains 600 milligram of the formulation, not the drug. This is a physical test. This is physical test. This is chemical test. So here you are looking only at the weight, using balance طبعا. So the first formulation is 600, the other one is 610 milligram. The third capsule contains مثلا 580 milligram, and then you see according to the pharmacopoeia, is this acceptable variation? هل الفاريشن هون acceptable or not? بينما هون شو? What do I see? هل الدراج الكيميكال دراج in the formulation, and the formulation contain other things, هل الدراج only is different or not? Usually if you do this one, you don't have to do this one. And if it is required to do this one, then you don't have to do this one, usually. The last test, اللي هو ايش? Disintegration test. Here, you see, here you have dissolution, here you have disintegration. Usually if you have to do this dissolution test, you don't have to do disintegration test. زي كيف uniformity of content will weight variation. Okay, same thing for dissolution with disintegration. Which is more important? Dissolution طبعا. There are a lot of things to talk about for dissolution with disintegration, but let me tell you about the disintegration. Disintegration is that the capsule and its contents, يعني here specifically I'm talking about the contents of the capsule, should be able to pass through a mesh. يعني راح يكون في شبك, okay, with 2 millimeter diameter for every hole. If you remember the mesh size or mesh number, if you remember, the capsule will be inside the tube, وبالتيوب بيكون في هناك mesh at the bottom, وهاي التيوبس بيكون في هناك, there will be 6 tubes, وهاي التيوبس ascend and descend inside a medium. Until a certain time, usually 15 minutes, you want to see whether the contents of the capsules have gone out of the capsule shells and through the mesh اللي هو بقاعدة التيوب. Okay, did it pass through the mesh اللي هو size of the opening is 2 mm? هل all the contents of the capsule pass through the mesh? If the contents pass through the mesh نحكي disintegration pass. Usually I use 6 capsules and their contents must pass through the mesh within 15 minutes. As I told you, I'm only summarizing here very much because when I talk about tablets, I will show you the machines for disintegration, for dissolution. I will talk about it in more details for you to know the quality control tests. طبعا the product must pass all these tests in order for the product to get released. يعني يسمحوا له to allow it to go to the market. طبعا not only these tests بس في هناك other inspections that have to be done to release the product. طيب مين اللي في الكمباني will sign okay release this product اللي هو الكواليتي كنترول لاب. They are the one اللي هو in charge في الكواليتي كنترول لاب in the company is responsible to give release to the product for it to be to go to the market. طيب up to here now we finished capsules topic, we finished part 2, we finished capsule topic. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and as always if you have any question now not only by email but also using the WhatsApp group you can ask question, but remember first ask your team, okay, and then you can ask me. Bye bye.